And we are live with part 2 of the Sea Dragon build that was requested by, like, I think 80% of you, despite Team Gru's best attempt to otherwise. So, here we go. This is where we've gotten so far. We have the LES system from the SLS system. We have a giant fairing from the payload bay that we need to rework. We have a giant fuel tank, a skirt which we're going to stick some rockets in, and then we have a expanding skirt that's going to hold the bottom section, which is here. And all these pieces are currently looking like absolute garbage. This time here, we're going to go and actually make them look good. So, without further ado, let's jump into the individual pieces and see what we can do. So this piece here is the expanding skirt. Now I'm going to start with it because a lot of people ask me about it. The only issue I have here is that it is upside down. You might notice that it is upside down because when I set it to open, and I can do that, the control ring that uses it? No, it is the skirt. Here it is. So if we say 1, which is open, apply animation, we can see obviously it's opened upside down. Facing up, but in the Sea Dragon, we want it to face and expand downward like so. So we have to sort of figure that one out to have it open up properly. So now that I've said that, I have to figure out how to do that. Obviously, all I did here was I flipped it upside down in the game code. So that might be the solution. But yeah, let's see how we could do it. So first of all, we're going to go back and we're going to look at our Sea Dragon, which I think I have on here. There we go. So this is the Sea Dragon. This is what it looks like. It's, I think there's another picture of it somewhere. Yeah, so there's a couple options there. Or we can go here and we go to screenshots, reference images, and I'm sure I've got a picture of the Sea Dragon here. Where is it? Where is it? No, I don't know where it went. I do, somewhere. There it is. So this here is Mr. Sisu's thing. So he's actually had it where it's dark and it's got a lot of lines and tiling to it. So that's a different look. We see it again here on this other picture where it's dark. So we've got to make the compartment dark, and then we have to make it so it actually expands outward and looks not half bad. And if you are joining us on the replay, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Once you've watched the whole video, Prime252 is here today. I'm not sure if he's going to be here the whole stream, but he is our moderator for the day. So if any comments, problems, etc., he'll handle that in the comments. If you have questions, please sure to tag PicoSpace and then add a whole bunch of question marks, and I'll see it on my second monitor right over here. Woo, second monitor. Also, I have it where there is a oh shoot, what's it called? Doop 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 doop. I recently got monetized. I don't expect anyone to actually give me any money. I'll just take a bit of ad revenue money from YouTube. But let me know in the comment chats, etc., if you actually see the option, because I have no idea how that works. But yeah, just if the option exists, that would be great. Because I can't actually watch my own stream because my internet's too crappy to do that, and it would die. So we're going to get back to this, and we're going to make some changes. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to close it again, apply here, and we're going to make some changes to this section. Now, if you've done modding before, or if you've been modding a few things, you'll notice a couple similarities here, because basically what I did was I stripped out a fairing code and had it where it ended up rotating instead of breaking into pieces. And sorry, I have a bit of a cough today because accidentally at lunch had some food go down the wrong tube. That's been bugging me, but that's okay. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna find the front mesh. Here we go. Oh no, front right. There we go. All right, so we're gonna change this from white to gray. don't think it should be black. And I have to remember to spell gray with an A. So we're going to do that. And then in the fairing shape, instead of a fairing, we're going to pick, where is it? Rivets. And that's what we're going to change it to, like so. And we'll do the same to the other side, which is the front right. And we want to find the front left. There we go. And we're just going to change the color to gray. There we go. And we're going to change the shape again to rivets. Rivets. There we go. And when we look back at our rocket, there we go. The bottom section here with the tank will do the same thing to match. But that looks pretty good as a setup. Now, there is one other thing I want to do, which is I've seen it that when it opens, we have it where it opens, and if I just do the rotation here, oh, I'm doing it wrong. Here, shoot. You know what? I'm just going to do it the numerical way here. So we go 1 and apply. We want to have it set up so that it has another section here and we don't have these big giant gaps. I'm not sure how we're going to do that, but I want to do that by basically taking this back here, duplicating it, setting it to, where are we here? Yeah. A height of, I'm going to say 5, and then we're going to generate the mesh. It's going to be there, and we want to switch it here to color gray. No, that's RTG. Oh, we're going to lose it. Gray color. We're going to strip that out, and we're going to go here, and we're going to add the rivets again. There we go. So now it's going to look like that when it expands out. And I just want to double check. That's the back. And it says interior, so we're going to remove that. We're going to change that. Well, not going to remove it. We're going to go to exterior. And we're going to generate the mesh. Oh, shoot. Did I click on the wrong one? I did. Shoot. This one is interior. And this one is exterior. So we're going to call this one here middle front. So, and just double check it's not in some weird code. Yeah, there we go. It'll sit where it's going to be. So that's going to open up when the rocket expands out. And then it should show this in the background. So we're good on that side. The other thing we need to change on this, given that, again, yes, it's going to look upside down. And I probably could just, because I think somebody's probably at some point going to say, it's upside down. Can I just say -1 and it flips itself? There we go. Wonder how long I was going to go before I realized I could do that. So some things that this does not need, because it is for the dragon, this top part here, we don't need it. We need it there to be visual, but we don't need to have control, and we don't need to have build collider, drag surface, etc. This is now going to be a non-colliding part. It's just for looks. Well, it can have a drag surface. That's fine. The second thing we need to do is the expirability control ring, which is where we have all the docking ports and everything else like that, and our active sequence module. What? I don't know why we have that there. Cool. I'm going to delete it because we don't need it anymore. It's gone. Which means I probably go here and delete this. Yeah, delete that. We do need to add in a function though, but the way we're going to add it is because, and I probably should explain this to anyone new, is it possible to change the center of rotation on a part on move? Yes, it will always rotate 0, 0 on a part. I'll show that in a second to explain how I pulled this off. But before I do, I just want to show this for anyone who wasn't here. There it is. The reason we're making these changes is because this guy here, whoops, set him to 0, and let's set him to, no, apparently we're going to go -14, -4. Oh, no, because it's upside down now. Everything's backwards. Yay. Fun times. Um, 28. I think 28 was the number we had. Yeah, I think 28 or 29. Oh, 27. How about that? Apologies. So we ended up with this is going to sit in there like that. Um, so that when this stage goes, it drops the first stage through. So we do need to make some changes to this in order for it to work. The control ring, which was originally base 0, is now going to be base 5. I think that's probably enough. There we go. And while it does have a visual to show it, we actually are going to make little triangles right here that will actually hold this piece in place. Or actually, better yet, I'm going to make it 2 lines along the back side here. And those lines will be what's holding, and I'm doing quotations here, the first stage to the second stage. And by doing it that way, we avoid a lot of problems and a lot of fancy code we don't need. Let's do it that way. While we're here, I just want to double check. So we have the separation surface. Where's that? There it is. So this is the separation surface. We don't actually need this anymore. This is what we're going to move. And we're going to move it like this. Oops. Copy it. We're going to paste it. We'll go 0 to, say, 2. Yeah, 2 is fine. And we're going to say separation surface, right side. And then we're going to duplicate that by going Control D. And we're going to have left side. And the left side's just the same thing. It's going to be negative. So we'll go negative, negative. And that is what we're going to have holding the first stage to the second stage. So when it releases, the stage is just going to drop. And then we're going to go here. And we're just going to check here. So we've got module here. Yeah. So what we need to do is in these separators, we need to add detach code. Because this is what we're going to do, detach model. We're going to pick itself, which is separator. We're on the right side. We're going to go 0, 0. We don't need to show the description, and we don't need a force multiplier, but we'll set it to 1 anyway. Later on, we'll play with these numbers, figure out, now that we flipped everything upside down, everything, which ways to set the number. But for now, that's what we need. We need to repeat the process over here, picking the left side, whoops, and going 0, 0. Don't show the description, set to 1 just for later if we want it. Because there we go. And then what we'll do is in the stage skirt code, we're going to add a detach thing. We're going to go separator, pick left side, detach, detach, and we're going to pick the other separator on the right side, the scene. There we go. And we're going to hit detach. There we go. Now this piece is going to attach the top stage, which is going to sit on top from the bottom stage. And it's going to open and do this visual thing that we have going here as soon as we figure out maybe this needs to go to 6. No, it's going to have to go bigger than 6. 10? How big is this? Oh, it's the -1. That's going to hurt us. Okay. There we go. And now probably can go back to 5. There we go. So that's what we have happening. And that's pretty good to go. Now, I did have, I said, a separator control ring, separator control ring. I did say that this was no longer doing anything. It has attachment surface, but it's non-colliding part. Is there anything else in here that I need to figure out? I don't think so. Okay, so we're going to delete the first stage from this just to not make a giant mess. And I want to show you how I did this rotation trick here where it actually rotates. So one of the things that you need to understand in Unity is that when you do rotation, oops, that's the wrong, not the best piece to do the example. Right, here we go. one of the things you need to understand in Unity is when you do the rotation, it does the rotation off of wherever the 0 point is. So that if I do a rotation like Z, you'll notice that it's not rotating where I want it to have happen. Because the 0 point actually is right here. And you can see it, there's a little tiny like dot around this. That is where it's going to rotate. So that's a bit of a pain because at the end of the day, when you want things to rotate, you don't always want them to rotate at 0, 0. Like if I took the whole thing and I said rotate this, it's going to rotate where that circle is, in the center of that circle. So the trick to getting around that, and you'll see it here, is I have something called the front left hinge. And what I've done here, and you'll see how this rotates where I want it, what I've done is I've made the 0 point, that's 33, the 0 point at negative 11.5. So instead of being 0 here, I've moved it here. And then inside this parent object, I've moved everything 11.5, 11.5, and 11.5 the other way. So basically what I did was I made everything like normal. I added the parent. I moved the parent this way. And then inside the parent, I went and moved everything back. And by doing that, I'm actually now essentially moved the hinge position for all those child items, so they move like this, but they're in the position I originally wanted, rather than doing it other ways where you'd end up having to math out a bunch of code and a whole bunch of other stuff. I just moved the hinge point by basically making everything where it was, making a parent of those items, moving it, and then making sure they move back. So I hope that explanation is what you were looking for, Prime25. 525. No, 252. There we go. If there's anything else, let me know. And that's sort of how we got going in making this, and that's how I made the pedal fairings and everything. So I've removed the docking port because we didn't need it, and I made this so that it is only visible. Now I should go here and make a secondary control ring, and the reason for this is because this one here, I'm just going to call it the control ring. Oh, come on. Back. And the control ring back, again, is very similar to the control ring. The only difference is I'm going to go -5, so it's in the background. And I have it black, but I'm just going to make it a little bit darker. And then in here, I'm going to set this guy here to add interior module, and I'm going to say it's exterior. And the idea being is when we toggle it, it's darker. So in the build screen, it looks like it's not part of the foreground, and your rocket will sit in front of it in the build screen. And we'll show that a little bit later. Okay, so this piece here, I'm going to say should be done. Now, there is one thing I didn't do, and I probably should have realized that before. But if we bring in here, and this is, again, one of these fun things. If I bring this guy in and I put him right on top just because it's easier to see, there is one little problem. And that is that there is a left side and a right side. And the left side and the right side are 0.1 width. So that means that the width of this actually needs to be a little bit bigger than the current whatever width size I set it to. So instead of 23, it should be 23.2. And this little extra width is to account for the sides. 0.2. And I don't normally have to do this. I just want to manually make sure it's in there, so we don't spend any time on the stream problem solving stuff. So when I go like this and I say apply the variant, it's going to be ever so slightly bigger. So by doing that, I do need to go here and I'm going to pick the control ring, and I'll do the same thing on the back in a second. Oh, it is a thing. So, okay. I'm going to say +5. 1 second here. Generate the mesh. So it is actually B. Okay. So, oh, I guess it's here. Okay, so we're going to go -0.2. And we're gonna generate the mesh. There you go. And why does that not do what I want? I thought I did. Oh, it is, but the back one isn't done yet. Okay. And the back one also is negative 0.2. And we'll generate a mesh. So now it's flush with the outside. And it's go to go down there. If it's a little bit of a lip at the bottom, that's fine because it's probably not fine. Let me think about that. That's gonna cause how much problems? Yeah. So that would be negative 0.1. No, it's not gonna. That's not gonna work because why is that not gonna work? Because it'll still hit the side. We're gonna go to edge mesh. No, it sits on the top, so we should be good. All right. So while I'm thinking about this and making sure everything makes sense, on the bottom, should be good. Um, do, now that I think about this, yes. Yeah, this should be good. However, I need to change this code here to minus 0.1 and this to minus 0.1 because I need the line to be ever so slight. I need again to be on the inside 0.1 and plus 0.1 because it needs to be on the inside of that little attachment thing that sits here. So that should be good. All right, and because obviously we don't want it to be like this, when we put it in the game, we do have to hit 0, and we do need to apply the animation. There we go. So that's what it's going to look like in game, and then it will separate. So that's that stage. Okay, cool. So I think the skirt's done. We'll do some testing later on it, but for right now, I think this is good enough to say it's done. We're going to go back to the Sea Dragon, and we're going to go to the skirt, which I flipped upside down when I built it. I'm going to say 1, and we're pretty good on that. I'm also going to move this over so it shows what we're trying to do here a little bit. And why did that not add up? Huh. We might be sitting too high, or I need to rebuild that. Oh, okay, yeah, we're sitting too high. Because that should be here, right? 68. So this part here, we need to extend it down. Okay, so that's what we'll work on next, is extending this piece down. So this piece here, very simply, it's a giant tank. So we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna go down like, oh shoot. 0, fine. And this guy here is gonna go down, and he's gonna go down. I'm gonna say this far, and then we'll just double check. Mesh. And we'll go back to our construct over here. And he is 1 too far. Okay, that's fine. So it's not negative 10, it's negative 9. All right, generate mesh. Okay. All right, so we have that there. We do need to build out the engines in here. We do have that. We are still missing the or part of the thing, although this is say 42. Who's there? And it's 163 higher. It's probably higher, 164. Yeah, okay, so then it's sitting in there. And we have the LAS system, and I gotta go 42 as well, and 164, so it's the right height. Okay, so we're gonna rebuild the LAS system for the capsule. I'm gonna go over to capsules and landers, and I think I built. Did I build the part? I'm still working on the capsules. They take a lot longer than I originally thought. Do I have an Orion or Apollo anything? Nope. Did I put it in Apollo? These are my awful. This is what I originally was doing. It looks awful, and you should just ignore this. Close your eyes. Avert your gaze. Where's the even worse one? Where is it? Oh, right. It has to be one of the ones with the multi thing on it. Starliner, Salamander, Ryan. Sea Dragon code? Oh, yeah, there it is. Haha. It is there. Okay, so, and then we have the heat shield. All right, so if we go back here, we can go to the Apollo heat shield and add that in there, but we don't have any command capsule yet. The one, no, 60.5, oh, 0.75. Yeah, okay, there we go. And then 42. Okay, so let's work on this LES system next, because all we're doing here is we're changing stuff I already made. And that's the easiest, fastest stuff to show you. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So this is the launch tower for the SLS system. So I've just copied it over here and renamed it. And what we want to do here is, because I know how the code works, I'm going to go to the, I think it's exterior side here. Oh, these are all the engines. Let's put that down. That's the interior mode. I think it's draft holder toggle. Yeah. So okay. So we've hidden that, and we're going to drag and put the capsule in here. So this is the capsule. We're going to zero it out, and it's apparently at 0. No, it's going to be at 2.5. There we go. So that's the capsule. So we have to build the LES system towards this capsule. So a couple things with this LES system. Number one is that I can't see the top of the capsule. What is this negativity? This is at -4. I don't know why it's at -4. It should only be like -2 or something. All right, let's do it that way. Generate mesh, and then we'll go back to the capsule. Okay, now we can see it. Awesome. So this part here needs to attach to the capsule. And the capsule here on the interior, and we'll change the exterior afterwards, just because it's just a thing that goes together. We need to find, so those are the impact ones. So we need to go in here and basically just grab this little, oh, come on. Oh, what? Disabled the tower booster. Yeah, no, it still makes it. Oh, that's the Apollo's thing. Okay, one second there. Toggle. Okay, now trying to get most of the sound out of the way because we don't need sound. And I still have the very sound I don't want. Where is it coming from? Effect holder right. Effect holder jet. There it is. Oh, it's the RCS system from this guy. Okay. We're going to toggle that off for now. Okay, just so it doesn't get in our way. All right, so here we're going to delete this one here, and we're going to move this. Oh, come on. We're going to move it down until it's about right there. And we can see here in the code that it should be perfectly centered. And in fact, I have to remember that's only visual. We need to go down to here. Right. There we go. And then we're going to bring this guy here in like so. No. And we're going to delete most of this code. And this is sort of a subtraction methodology, but that's how we're doing it. And then we're bringing it here. And right there. And that actually fits the same as our capsule. And then we hit generate mesh. And it's going to create that mesh. Okay, cool. So we don't need this side. We don't need this side. We don't need this. This is all visual stuff we don't actually need. We don't need that. And where's my touch surface? Shoot. No, I lost it. I lost it. No, it's craft folder. Okay. So this is the interior craft folder. It is going to be, it's -5. That's fine. So if we move it sideways, we can, oops, we can see it's here. It's going to match the capsule perfectly because when we drop the capsule in, it needs to be fitting like a glove. And we're going to set it so it doesn't do anything. It's just visual. Okay, cool. Done. All right. Next stage we have is we want to build out a top side. So we're going to copy this and we're going to go to craft holder, which is the outer side, and we're going to re-toggle that back in. And we're going to go here and we're going to go paste. And we're going to go generate, and it's now made it smaller. We can, I don't know if there's a sign on it. Again, it's like that. Okay. To do that, there you go. Why not? I made that. And we're going to delete this. We can take this and we're going to make it, instead of like 5.5 and stuff, we can make this equal to, what's it, 4? Yeah, so it's 4, 4.2, 4.2, and 4. Generate the mesh like that. And that craft holder has drag surfaces, etc. And then we can bring this whole lower tower down and attach it here, because the tower itself is actually where a lot of the code is. The bottom part's just a visual cover kind of thing, if you want to say. But the tower's going to come down here, and we're going to bring it down and put it there. And let's go 1.7, 175, cool. And what we're going to do is, this is it here, right? Yeah. So we're going to make it equal to 2. And we're going to make top here equal to 2. Like so. And the bottom, we have to add, I think it's 4.5. No, 4.25? Yeah. There we go. And obviously we have to go down here and fix this little section here and say, what did I say, 4.25? Oh, I did the wrong one. 4.25, right? Scroll down here. Yeah, pretty close. Then we'll bring this one out like that. And this guy here will go back in and we'll do that. There's 0 there. And we're going to hit generate mesh. And that gives us our little buffer ring or whatever we want to call it. And we'll fix it up a bit later. So now, to give you an idea, we're going to take this craft holder code. We're going to copy it back. We're going to put it into the interior view, just right here. And we're going to paste it here. Paste. And this says it's interior mode. That's fine. And this is not. Okay, so what we're trying to do here is make this little LES system work, we can go here and go generate mesh, but we're going to actually make a lot of changes to this top part here because obviously it should look more like the LAS system from Apollo rather than the LAS system from some magical, or not magical, I guess, the space launch system. But for right now, I'm just going to make this blue, and we're just doing this so I can say that, yeah, it's there, but we need to fix it. So if we take this top craft tool apart and we toggle it like this, showing that in the interior here, we're going to generate a mesh. And you can see here the mesh is now slightly bigger than the actual capsule. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add in some lines. I'm going to steal the lines from this segment here because I know they exist, right? No, they don't. I don't like using that code. Where would I find the line? There we go. No, this is also the wrong. No, I got them up here. I have them somewhere, right? No, I took them out. Shoot. Okay, guess we're making them. All right, so we're making this. We're going to grab this craft folder. We're going to go duplicate. We're going to go 0.1 and 0.1. I think it's probably bigger than 0.1, 0.1. We're going to go like this over here and over here. There, where it needs to be. And yeah, it's a bit bigger than 0.1. I think it's 0.125, 0.125. Of course not. Okay, so what is craft folder? I said it's 2 instead of 1.75. So 2 minus 1.75 divided by 2 should be 1.25 on each side. So why does that not work? What number does it want to be? Huh. Oh, it is 1.25. It is 5. And it's going to be 5. No. No. 6 is too much. 4, 3, 5, 375, right? There we go. Okay, 375. Cool. And then we're going to move down here at the bottom. And we're going to do the same thing over here. It's going to get line up. 2. Okay. And we're going to generate the mesh. We're going to go in here and we're going to pick this color here, I think. We're going to say this is -1. Generate the mesh. And we're going to change this from flat smooth to flat. And from metal to gray, I believe, is the color it normally is. Yeah, probably white, isn't it? Yeah, probably white. All right, color white. For right now, no, I think it needs to be darker. Let's make it darker. Gray. Okay. I'm having so much trouble with this. Maybe black. I don't care what the actual color is. I just want it to not look wrong. Okay. And we're going to say this is the craft holder left. And then we're going to duplicate it. We're going to hit -1. So it's flipped on the other side. And we're going to say this one here is right. Okay, so those are there, and that's going to hold our capsule in place with this top piece. So that's good. Now we can look at doing a lot of neat things here. Main thing we need to do is make sure we get the height of this capsule such that it's a nice straight line, which is probably going to go to 0. 0. and probably 0.5. Yes, maybe? I don't know. Nope. 2.5. Yeah, it looks like a straight line. Okay, cool. So, next stage we're doing is we have the craft holder, the craft holder left, craft holder right. Um, we have the holder at the top that's overseeing it. So if we tag it like this, you see it goes over top. And what we need to do next is add in a detached surface, which is right here, but we're going to rework this a little bit because it's now going to detach slightly differently than it did before, because all the numbers are horribly off. All right, so we're just going to quickly tag the numbers in, and this is going to, I'm hoping it's going to work the way I want, otherwise it's going to be a bit of a pain. 8, 5, no, -9, 8, 7, 5, okay. 2, 8, 7, 5. Now, the only issue here is that if it detaches, it drops through. These are colliders, right? No, I don't have this collider. Okay, gotta remove this. Apologies. I'm just gonna fix this up. So I want these to actually be physical pieces, but I don't want them to actually attach, just so that things can't bounce through or whatnot. And they need a polygon collider. And the polygon collider we're going to say is low, and the polygon data is the craft holder right, like so. There we go. And we're going to copy this code. We're going to move it to the other side here. We're going to go and hit paste component as new, and we're going to say craft holder left. But this craft holder doesn't have any attachment surface. The only thing holding this capsule in place is this top surface that I just added, which I then lost immediately. Where is it? Attached surface. So this attached surface, when it's activated, will drop the craft out of the LES system, but that's the only thing that's holding it in place. That's it. That's everything. That's all. So we're going to change this. This is just a block, and it has attachment surface, drag surfaces. I don't need physical colliders on this, do I? Nope. Yes, maybe. I need to add a polygon. Polygon colliders for everybody. And what do I call this thing? Lower tower? Okay. There we go. And this is low. Otherwise, it takes some other settings or whatnot. And we're going to go like this. Cool. All right. And then we can put the top back on. And this bottom section is functional. And it covers the command capsule, which currently looks awful, with this absolutely wonderful, slightly better looking cover that obviously we can go back and we'll do probably in episode 4 is go back and make everything look nice. Again, the goal here is to get all the pieces and make it functional. So we're going to go and look at our photos here for a second. I don't think there's one here. Is there? No. It's kind of small. Okay. We're going to go back maybe over to our photo. That's kind of small. All right. So we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go Spaceflight Simulator. And Mr. Sisu provided this to me as a, what do we call it? Guide. I'm going to say it's a guide. Build a new rocket. Continue build. This is his BP edited launch Sea Dragon. It's got 706 parts. We're trying to get down to like 9 parts, maybe 10. But it has this here, which is the launch tower. And that does not look like anything my launch tower has. I have the cover, but he stops at... So that's what he does. Okay, so he has it where there's a triangle thing in there, and then the top of the cover, and then he's got some stuff there. Okay, so we can definitely add something like this in. And how tall is this thing from the top? If we assume here that it's going to be, that's 1. So that's 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters. 5 meters, 6 meters, 7 meters, 8 meters, 8.5 meters plus. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Writing it down. 8.5 meters plus 0.75 for the cone. Okay. Yay. And its size wise is, let's say, 0.75. 75. Again, there's no actual hard documentation, so we all kind of guesstimate along, and we all want to help each other do it. So that is going to be that. So I have it where I have the launch. Oh, right. I'm using. Right. So Um, yeah, so I can change this. This here is just a visual piece. It doesn't do anything. The actual surface is on the top of the rocket. I chose it to do that way because I'm going to be making these. I said Pico not friendly, but the idea being is I want all my capsules to have a uniform. I'm going to say NASA because that's the size I'm going with. Um, Port system, and that way I can design pieces that work with all my capsules and all my landers, and it works well versus going and making everything randomly different and then having to play. Well, you can, dock with this, but you can't dock with that, and people will get upset when things, dock into each other because once things dock into each other, you try to separate them and they don't, and then you got two pieces in space stuck together permanently, and you're like, no. Just visualize, Darth Vader going, no. Although now I probably sound more like a Wookiee. All right. So back to the LES system. Okay, so we can get rid of the capsule. We don't need it anymore. Other than to say that's the height. And I said it was about 8.5. So I do want to change this part here to, I'm just going to do it here, down to 0. Negative 5. 5. And that's not a negative. Negative 0.5. And then just make it wide enough that it is actually 0.75. Yeah, perfect. And I'm going to top this. There we go. Generate the mesh. And then that will be the top of my tower here. And that tower will go from negative 0.5 to, what would I say, 8. So it's going to go all the way up to 8. So we're going to grab the tower code, or this tower. Here it is. Perfect. And we're going to drag it down here to about right there, which is almost 1. 1. And then we're going to say at the top here is 8. So instead of, oh, that's backwards. Shoot. Okay. Don't crash. Don't crash. Let's see if it doesn't crash. Woohoo. Okay, cool. It didn't crash. Okay, so this is going to be 8. And then this is going to be plus 7.5. So this is going to be 0.7. And this is going to be, 8.7. And then this is going to be 8.75. And if I hit generate mesh, oh, that's not too bad. That looks pretty decently good. All right, we're going to move that down a little bit. Don't worry about the overlap. We're going to change that in a second. Go. And that's going to go like that. Oh, that's why, because we moved everything. Okay, so we're going to move this line back up. Get rid of that. Gonna go all the way up. I'm gonna say 9, and then we're gonna drag that up so it's just the tip of the cone. Just the tip of the cone there. That's colored. All right, cool. And we're good to go. And we're gonna add in all that cool looking stuff right there. This is the giant tube pipe, and we'll go back to Spaceflight Simulator, and we need to add all this. And this is gonna take 1, 2, so we'll say 2.5. And I gotta come up with that cool looking thing. So, all right, so it's 2.5. So up to there. Okay, we're just gonna put that 2, 0, 8.6. Okay, and then we're going to generate mesh. And the engines are actually down here at the bottom. Um, you see them sort of here in the tower. So, oh wait, this tower doesn't. Okay, so I need to remove some things. Yay, back to removing things. This is the theme of today. It's how much stuff do I have to pull out to make this less good? So I have an altitude system in this tower. Right now it's disabled, but that was the, turn it on here, toggle active. That was up here, and that was to do left-right control. I'm going to disable it for right now. We don't need it. What I do have is the jettison system, which was this whole thing here, and it does not look like anything that the shoot other one did. So I'm probably going to have to toss it or fix it. And overall, I think I can probably fix it relatively well because the jettison system works. It's fine. It's all properly set up. It is a booster. It doesn't have any heat. Probably should have heat, but we're not throwing heat in. Sound effects, etc. The only thing I don't need is the jets. I don't need, and yeah, it's the jets I don't need, and the motor holes. And this is the sound. So we just delete this like so. And it's probably going to get upset because it's going to say I have a missing action. That's okay. But that will work. And I just have to add in 2 little engines. So that should be good. And we'll do that. So we have to decide what do these engines look like. We have a bunch of different engine options. I don't want to get too fancy with them. Mainly because they're small on a big rocket. No one's going to zoom in and go like, how do these engines look? But also because I'm going to be using this whole system while it's currently designed for the Dragon. This is essentially going to be my Apollo one. So I'm going to go and figure out here and write Apollo. I think it's called Abort Tower. Let's see how good I am. There we go. Launch Escape System Wikipedia. Apollo lesson abort test. What does it actually look like? Oh, okay. And then it has a little tiny motor at the top. Oh, that's so cute. All right, but it just looks like a black cone with the structure. Okay. So that's easy enough to do. And it's there. I am going to oh, I think we know what we're going to use. I just want to see if I have a better picture of it when it's not. Let's see. Okay, so it has a structure and then 2 cones, half booster compression. Okay, cool. Awesome. So let's go and see what we got. So we have this guy here. This is the um, abort system for the Dragon. It has this plume here. I think that looks pretty cool. We have the, oh, this is just a Titan rework. We have, no, that just looks stupid. Sorry. For an abort system, and I want the new one. So I'm thinking, let's take this one. This is pretty easy, and it comes with a whole nozzle. So we're gonna copy it, and we're gonna go back to our Sea Dragon, and we're gonna pick the LES system, and we're gonna paste it somewhere. Actually, paste it in the. Okay, there we go. And we can take that, and we can move it around whatever we want. We can rotate it because it already has the rotation code in it. And all we have to do is move it to where we want it to go. It's got a bit of a funky line item there, but that's okay. Nope, come on. We want the nozzle itself. We're gonna move it to about right there. There. And it clears the tower, so that's all we need to do. And it even has heat in it. That's kind. Although heat-wise, I don't really care that much because I'm probably not going to have heat on anyway. Um, while this thing could theoretically burn things, what's the chances of anything sitting like right beside um, the cone? So let's delete that. We're using booster code anyway. So this is the nozzle, and we're gonna go left, and then we're gonna go nozzle right. But let's just work on the left because obviously the right is just copy this negative, make this negative, make that positive, and it's done. Okay, so we're gonna add that cone there, and we're gonna go back to the photo that I pulled up, and it's got a little tiny cover on the top. Okay, cover, tiny, top. Click. Let's do it. All right, so we're just going to use the tower because, no point in making an extra piece for something like this. And we're going to go like that. And 0, 1.75. Okay, and then we're going to go generate mesh. There we go. And we're going to grab this nozzle. And while it's, it is thing, we're going to make it look a little nozzle-ish. A little bit. There you go. Oh. Bite me the whole way, isn't it? Okay. Generate mesh. I don't know if I made that better or worse. Okay, so there's one. And I think it should be a little bit bigger, so we're going to go 1.25 and 1.25. There we go. So that's one. And then we'll duplicate it, as I said, and we'll just move it back up the list because that's where it's going to fit. Here. And by the way, when I make these things, I try to make it so that the top of the model is at the top of the list, and then it makes it way down. And we're going to go here, negative, negative, sorry, positive position. Oh, okay. We can just do this. No, why is that? Ah, it's not doing what I want. It's now in the wrong direction. Great. Um, hmm. Negative y. We've rotated it. Oh, oh, goody. There we go. That's the negatives. There we go. 3 negatives apparently make a positive. There you go. Awesome. So we now have the LAS system set up. Um, now for this, it's going to work off of the. It's missing these, so we gotta delete those. It's gonna work off throttle. That's fine. And we just got to go over here to the other flame holder, and we got to delete these missing. We took them out. We don't want them, because again, while this could have flames in it, I don't think it will. Let me think on it. I might change my mind. Okay, and then we just want to make sure that the engine code, let's close the RCS for now, which is the jettison system. The jettison system works on something called jet throttle. Oh no. What did I do? I got throttle and jet throttle. Right. Um okay, well, there's no other engine in here other than the RCS system. What does the RCS system work on? Um, do, no, it doesn't. Okay, so we have throttle. Let's just switch the jettison system to throttle. That just makes my life easier than having to change everything else. And we'll get rid of jet throttle. It doesn't do anything. Let's change that throttle over there. That's the only code that has it. Pretty sure. Okay. So we need to do a little bit of a visual thing. I'm going to, again, open up this and then open up this. So what do we have? So it goes down, down, and then two crosses. Okay. Down, down, two crosses. Okay, so that's not too hard to make. And we can make it relatively quickly. We're going to grab the upper tower, copy, paste is going to drop at the bottom, but we're going to make it part of the upper tower. So we're going to go like this. And we're just going to make this cross left. I don't know. I'm just coming up with random names at this point. Delete, delete, delete. There we go. And we're going to move it to about right there. And we're going to make it, what's the width? 0.2. I'm picking random numbers. And then we're going to move it down to here. Like so. Yes, no. Why does that look different? Because it is different. It's not that different. A little wider out. Okay. Move this guy back. Oh, it goes like that. Okay. Right. Okay, so we're going to generate the mesh for a second. So he has it where it comes out and attaches to a point here, but it's much more vertical. So we can do that. Oops. I lost it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Generate the mesh. But if we do that, we have to make it smaller. So 0.1, 0.1, because it needs to be thin enough that it actually shows something. We can obviously move it down to here as well if we want to, or we can move it out to here. As the engines are not producing any heat, I don't have to worry about stuff colliding or burning up. Okay. Here. What do we here? Oh, we got this. Okay. There we go. And we're going to generate the mesh. Okay. And then we're going to go like this. We're going to duplicate it. We're going to make it right. And this is how fast we're going to make a little mesh structure. -1. There we go. Okay. So cross beam and two X's. Thing about halfway here. Whoops, that's okay. About there. So we're going to go 0.35, and I'm going to say 0.375, because we want it not too thin. And the phone's ringing. Just ignore the phone, everybody. Yep. Giant mesh. Oops. That needs to be 0, 0. And possibly a little bit like that. Mesh. Why does that look funny? Oh, because we need to make an edge. Edge is smooth. Okay, cool. That is way too small. Right. So it's not 3.5, it's 2, so that's 5, so 6. Too big. 5. There we go. And I don't like how that looks. Don't need this. That. Basic. There we go. So we're going to make a little change here. And that little change is instead of flat faces, we're just going to call it flat. It's a flat bar across. Yeah. And then instead of so flat, and then we're going to say metal. There we go. And that's how we can kind of make it look like it's doing something, but not really. Cool. Awesome. So I'm going to change this over here very quickly to basic. And this one over here to basic because I realized that I should have done that before. And now we're just going to go copy, paste, and we're going to basically make some cross beams by doing this very quickly. Oh. Generate the mesh. We're going to copy it. We're going to go back up here, go -1. It's going to make the X like so. We're going to copy this one again. We're going to move it down here. Move this. Position it where we want it to go here, like so. And like so. Yeah. -5. There we go. 4.95. Yep, there we go. Generate mesh. And we're going to make another copy of it, and we're going to go -1. And ta-da. We have our launch abort tower, which, again, we can make it look a little bit nicer if we want to. I'm going to go and look at a few more pictures and try to figure out how that looks, but that is a functional launch abort tower now. It'll have the capsule in it. It'll drop the capsule. All the good stuff in the world. What is tower booster? Oh no. So if we toggle that, that was the original boosters. So we're not using those anymore. They're gone. That's what that was originally used for. So it's gone. We're using the jettison system instead. So we're going to go through here. We're going to find the activation sequence module. And we're going to rewrite it slightly because right now it is incorrect. So we have the booster fire module, and then I use the jettison module. Shoot. Whoopsies. uh, so, yeah. Okay, so we're going to duplicate this element. We're going to remove the detach, and we're going to add the detach here. So first click fires the boosters. Second click detaches it from the module. We're going to go to that detached surface, and instead of -5, we're going to put in probably like -10. Give it a little bit more kick. And because in the photo I saw it's supposed to be shooting out slightly to the side, in our booster system here, we're going to pick the tower, which is called lower tower. It's now the whole tower. And we're going to go and thrust vector 0.1, and the thrust position is no longer there. It is now 2. So that's good. And game object. Oh, it wants a heat thing. Okay. An empty heat holder. Yeah, it needs a heat holder, even though there's no actual heat being generated. So we're going to go down here to find H. Heat holder. Okay, so that makes it happy. And we're going to take the whole nozzle left and right that we have here. And we're going to move the jettison system up. And we're going to move the nozzles into the jettison system. There we go. And then that's going to make noise based on this here. And that's going to run a sound. And these are going to fire based on the throttle value. Okay. And then we wanted a third one. So I'm going to duplicate this and I'm just going to call this one nozzle side. And this is just purely visual, but since it's supposed to be in there, we're going to add it in and we're going to go negative 90 degrees. One, one, and everything inside is apparently angled. So we're just going to move this little guy here. We're going to just rotate him until he's more or less where we want him pointed. There we go. And then we're going to add him to the very top here. Like so. Make it smaller by doing this. There we go. So when it goes, that'll look like that, and it'll end up having it where the code has it where it will slightly rotate the rocket inward. So that's fine. And that is the launch tower system for our Sea Dragon. I still have the RCS altitude system in here, which is right there. I'm not going to remove it. I'm going to disable it for right now. Mainly because we don't actually need it. But we might decide to put it in later. We can have always a discussion of that on my Discord forum, what people think they want. Anyway, so we got that going. And that gives us that for our Sea Dragon. So our next step here is this needs to be actually in 3.5. That makes it down, so it's -3. Okay. And this guy here obviously then has to be 161. Okay. So there we go. And we can actually go into the game in a second and test that out. I think I have this in Spacecraft. Yeah. Where do I actually have it? It's going into the... Oh, it's going into the wrong... Okay, so everything's going into the wrong space. Goody. All right, so we're going to go copy this, and I'm going to call this, let's say 50. Copy this element, and I'm just going to go and paste it. Oh, I can't do that. I have to... Sorry. I need this tag. Copy this, and we can paste it in here like so. And all we're doing is moving it to that spot. We can obviously move things around later, but when I'm testing things, I generally want to have them all in the same spot. And that way it's easier to find things and make sure they're working rather than playing hunting and go seek with items that are all over in different categories. So paste. Make sure I'm doing this the right way because I don't want to waste anyone's time having to reload this and everything. All right, so those are all there. And then we need to switch it to Pico Spacecraft because that's where eventually it's going. Part of my additional launch vehicle pack. Oh, yeah. We'll put it in Spacecraft right now. That's the easier one. I don't want to have to That's the one I'm working on. That's the one if I break it, I'm not going to be too upset. Spacecraft and spacecraft. Okay, cool. So we're going to jump into FSS and we're going to test out the stuff that we made just to make sure it actually is working. And then next one, we're going to work on the engines and we're going to finish up some of the sizing for this. And then, sorry, my brain is 2 seconds here. Yeah. So the next session, we're going to make the engines for the rest of the dragon. That will take the whole time. And then we're going to go and this one's always messes me up. I have to write space twice. It's always an interesting one. 12A. Okay. And we're gonna build the mod, and it's gonna go. And so we're gonna test this out, and then in the next session, that's what I'm trying to say, blurk. Which is session 3. We're going to build the engines, the 2 engines that this rocket requires. And we will build the RCS attachment things that hang off the side. And then in episode 4, we'll build the ballast system and we'll make the rest of this hopefully look nice. And I think that's going to be the extent of this mod towards a release. And then after that point, we'll get some feedback from the beta tester or the alpha testers, the beta testers, etc. They'll give us back our comments, and then we'll go through and make probably a 5th episode where I'll show you how we take all this lovely feedback we get and add it into the rocket so that it actually works functional to be released. And then at that point, we release it, and everyone's super happy, excited, smiley. And then Prime says 252, you don't. No, 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 sadness, sadness. we do want to give it to the alpha testers. The alpha testers want to play with it, right? They want to play with this stuff, half broken rockets and things that don't work and then explode on the pad. That's always entertaining, right? You're like, oh, why does this not work? Boom. And then your computer crashes because you dropped like 400 tons worth of rocket on it. All right, so we're going to quit this because we have to reboot Spaceflight Simulator in order for it to work. So take 2 seconds and stretch. And I don't know what's going on right now in the chat. It's odd. Um, Yeah, if sounds like in the chat somebody's gonna get banned. Um, oh, there we go. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go into Pico Space Industries. We're gonna build a new rocket. We're gonna continue the build because we do have this one here that we can have side by side. I went and put in an additional spacecraft, so we have a whole bunch of pieces. And as you can see, the dots and everything are in the wrong spot, but that's fine. What is this? Oh, and it's all improperly named too. Goody. That's supposed to go here. This came out and it's the wrong way, but that's okay. We set that to should be set right. Okay, well that's apparently not quite lined up either. Okay, that's there, and we should have a. So we need to put the front piece back on so we can see it. And then we have the capsule. Here's the capsule. If this, we don't actually have the back end of this capsule here yet, and that's not working either. Goody. So yeah, we have to fix a few things in the next episode, but that's okay. We don't have the trigger points and everything set up. And then we're going to put this on top. Go. And if I take this whole thing here and move it down one, it's going to sit properly on. No, of course not. That would be too easy, wouldn't it? Of course it would be. All right, so if we do this, I hope I have the code in here. Let's go to, what is it, 8 wide? I think it's 8 wide. Yay, that's good enough. All right, so we just move this whole thing here, up one, and move that to here. That should hold it. All right. And then we just need a giant engine to try to lift this thing into space. What do we got in engines? There we go. So, is this the Griffin? This is the Griffin engine. I'm like, oh, this thing can lift 750 tons. Okay. So apologies, Mr. Suey. We're just going to delete that to figure out that, yeah, it's going to be. So how many of these things do we need? A lot. Ugh. Okay. This may or may not go into orbit today. We can try. $750 times 5 is 3,750. And we need some crazy, crazy, crazy amount. So we're just going to strip all the fuel out of this. Do that, then watch me strip all the fuel that we actually need. All right. I don't know if this is going to work. Because, again, we don't have any of the numbers in there. That would be great if we had launch assist this and we could click somehow on that invisible piece. So there's definitely some errors. Definitely some errors. But let's revert to build for a second. Because this is a giant fairing, so we should be able to do this. Actually, we can do it this way. There we go. Launch. All right. Covered booster. It's not covered. Well, all right. So we'll see you in the next episode when I fix everything. What happened to the fairing? I forgot to put the parts back in when I toggled them off to show everybody. So in the next episode, we're going to make this rocket actually work. Now that we have all the right pieces together, we're going to make it work. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming to watch, and we'll see you next Wednesday, probably at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, because I have a meeting after. So there you go. We're going to fix it. Everything. Everything's going to work so great after the next episode. Or it's going to continue to explode and I'm going to cry. We'll see. Find out. Thanks for watching.